Hey there, you amazing people. Welcome to the video. And in this video, I am going to talk about what does it feel like when healing actually happens from your depersonalization. These questions sort of get thrown about quite a lot. How will I know that I've recovered? How will I know when I've started to get better? What does normal look like? So I'm going to answer all these questions in this video. What does it feel like when healing happens? Something that people might struggle with is the concept of how do they know if they're healing? What does healing feel like? And how do you know what normal is? Once you start to heal, you will notice some or all of these things, or perhaps things that aren't even on this list. Things like colors will seem brighter, the fog or weight on your mind will feel lighter, you'll feel more connected, you'll feel more in control, things will seem clearer, and you'll feel better than you did. So you'll know if you're healing because things will just start to feel more normal. The elephant in the room, what does normal feel like? When I'm speaking to people who are thinking of getting one-on-one coaching with me, one of the things I ask them is, well, what do you want your life to be like? What do you want instead of this? And the number one thing that people tell me is that they want to feel like themselves again. They want to feel normal again. They want to be the happy, carefree, fun, the party of the life that they once were. But this way of thinking and this way of looking at it can potentially cause some issues, because that version of yourself that you remember as being normal is probably not as accurate as you think. The truth is, your perception of how you remember yourself is not accurate. It's not complete. So when we wish for wanting things back how they were, we embellish and give extra weight to the good things and ignore most of the bad. In other words, your memory of it is actually better than what it actually was. And of course, I'm not saying that you were never happy or fun or carefree or anything like that, but you were those things. But in addition to that, sometimes maybe you were a bit frustrated. Sometimes you got angry at people. Sometimes you didn't know what you wanted to do in the future. There's all these sort of other negative things as well. You're only remembering the good parts of how you used to feel. I mean, do you ever sort of sit there and go, you know what, I really wish I could be frustrated like I used to. And I really wish that I could be angry at that person again like I used to. You're not saying that, are you? You're just saying all the positive stuff. So the issue sort of here is that when you say things like, I want to go back to normal, that version of normal never actually existed, or the version that you're creating in your mind of what it used to be like didn't actually exist, because you're giving all this extra weight to the good stuff and you're ignoring or not even really paying attention to the bad stuff that happened. So it's almost like an impossible task. You're saying, I want to get back to normal. How can you get to somewhere that you've never even been before? Another thing which is quite important in the recovery process is to look forward. What is the person that you are becoming now? When people go through a big change, they do tend to over embellish the good things of the past. The important question is, what type of person are you now, and what type of person are you becoming? You can still have all those good elements, but wishing for something that's essentially not there anymore and perhaps never even existed in the first place is just going to hold you back. Like you can't move forward by just lamenting and longing for the past to come back because it's gone. So the way that you can sort of be positive about this and what actually makes you feel better is to look at the future. What person do you want to become? Like, what goals and achievements have you already made that you can build on to keep moving yourself towards that person? What more things do you want to see and embrace in your recovery to get you to where you want to get to? It's all about thinking forward. And when you do think towards your goals and the future and what you want in your life, then you're much more likely to have a positive response to that, rather than just thinking about all the things that you don't have anymore and all the things that you feel that you've lost. That's going to elicit a bit more of a negative response. So to sum up for you, you can feel normal again. And once you've gotten through this, you'll be so much stronger than actually what you were. But you also have to be realistic in regards to what you're wishing for never really existed in the first place, because you're only looking at the positive and you're not really looking at the negative. My friends, I hope you've learned a little bit and liked this video. And if you have, consider liking it and subscribing. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.